So let's say you've got $100 a month to put toward investing. Not 1,000, not 500, $100, maybe less than what you spend on takeout in a bad week. And you're sitting there thinking, is this even worth it? Am I too late? Is $100 a month a joke compared to what everyone online seems to be doing? I want to answer that question honestly, right now, before we go any further. No, you are not going to become filthy rich off $100 a month. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you'll be sipping champagne on a yacht by 2030. That would be a lie, and I'm not interested in lying to you for views. But here's the thing. What actually happens when you commit to investing $100 a month, consistently, for years, is more surprising, more powerful, and honestly more life-changing than most people expect. I used to be a public school teacher. I made about $40,000 a year, and I had no business background, no rich uncle, no trust fund, and through a boring, easy habit that started with less than what most people spend on coffee, I ended up building real wealth. So the number in this video's title, the $100, that's not actually the point. The real payoff of this video isn't the dollar amount. It's the shift that happens in your brain once you understand what consistency actually does over time. That shift is worth more than any single dollar figure I could give you. Now, this video is for a specific kind of person. Maybe you're brand new to investing and the whole thing feels like a foreign language. Maybe you've been intimidated by it. You've opened an app, stared at it, and closed it again without doing anything. Maybe you're overwhelmed by everyone shouting different advice at you. Or maybe you just want someone to break this down simply, without jargon, without selling you anything sketchy. If that's you, you're in the right place. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens month by month, year by year, when you invest $100 consistently. We'll look at what month 1 feels like, why most people quit around month 6, what your first year actually looks like on paper, and then we're going to fast forward all the way to 30 years down the line, because that's where the real story is. I'll also show you a side-by-side comparison of two people, one who starts at 25 and one who starts at 35, because that 10-year gap changes everything, and I want you to see exactly why. By the end of this, you're going to understand not just the math, but the mindset that separates people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. Let's get into it. Month 1 is honestly kind of anticlimactic, and I want to prepare you for that because expectations matter here. You open your brokerage app, you set up your automatic transfer, $100 leaves your checking account, and it buys you a small slice of an index fund, or whatever you've chosen to invest in. And then nothing happens. You check the app the next day, and maybe you're up $2, maybe you're down $3, and it feels almost silly. This is exactly the moment where two paths appear in front of you. Path 1 is what most people do. They feel unimpressed, they decide investing isn't really doing anything, and they either stop, or they never build the habit in the first place. Path 2, the one I want you on, is where you understand that month 1 was never supposed to be impressive. Month 1 is about proving to yourself that you can actually do this, that you can set money aside before you're tempted to spend it, and that the world doesn't end when you do. The data point here is small but real. $100 invested in a typical broad market index fund might grow by a few dollars, or shrink by a few dollars in that first 30 days, and that volatility is completely normal. The habit is the win in month 1, not the money. So chapter 2, let's jump ahead to month 6. This is the danger zone, honestly. This is where I've watched more people quit than at any other point. You've now put in $600 total, and depending on the market, you might be sitting at $640, or you might be sitting at $580. Either way, it doesn't feel dramatic. The initial motivation that got you started has worn off, life has gotten in the way, maybe an unexpected expense popped up, and that $100 a month starts to feel optional. This is where the two paths split hard. What most people do is pause the contribution, just for this month, and that one skipped month quietly becomes 3 skipped months, which becomes never restarting at all. What you should do, what actually works, is treat that $100 like a bill you owe yourself. Non-negotiable, automated so you don't even have to think about it. Because here's the data point that matters at month 6, even in a rough 6-month stretch. You've already built the infrastructure, the account, the habit, the automation, that 90% of people your age haven't built yet. You're already ahead just by still being in the game. Chapter 3, 1 full year in. You've contributed $1,200 total. Depending on market performance, your account might be sitting somewhere around $1,300 to $1,400, assuming an average kind of year. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $1,300 after a whole year feels small, compared to the effort of sticking with it for 12 months straight. And emotionally, that's a fair reaction. But this is exactly where most people misjudge what's happening, because investing doesn't reward you meaningfully in year 1. It rewards you meaningfully in year 15, year 20, year 30. What most people do at this stage is compare their $1,300 to a friend's flashy trading win, or a headline about someone who made $10,000 on some hot stock, and they feel like a failure by comparison. What you should do instead is recognize that you now have a fully proven system,